Hello, good to see everybody. I wasn't supposed to stream tonight, but my plans changed this weekend, so now I'm going to be able to. And there's a lot of stuff going on, so I actually have a bunch of stuff to cover. I hope y'all caught my video last night that I premiered. Is the CIA a drug cartel? I've been working on that for a couple weeks, and I learned a ton of new skills with DaVinci, and I think I'm going to be able to do a lot more cool stuff with that. So hopefully I could kind of speed up the production process a little bit as I get better with it. So we'll see how that goes. What's up, y'all? Good to see you in here. So yeah, there's been some new Epstein news tonight, but first, as the room heats up, I'll weird and funny stuff for a minute that I found. Let me just bring up the screen and all that in the chat so I can see it. All right, here we go. Hope everybody is having a good weekend. What? Oh, okay. I was pressing open tab and it just wasn't doing it. And then 4 opened. That's never good. I think I'm going to try to start streaming with Brave, which is what I usually use, but sometimes certain programs are really buggy with Brave, but it has a really good ad blocker and it's built in, and the ad blocker the ads get so annoying when I'm trying to read articles on here on stream. Let's see. Yeah, they're literally throwing everything in the release. It's wild. They had
7, but you said
his name in there. They're just trying to, and there's names missing too.
You floated the idea of $2,000 rebate checks for Americans from tariff revenue. Who's going to get that, and when is that going to happen?
We'd make it. I'm looking at it very seriously. I'm the only one who can do it because I'm taking in hundreds of billions of dollars of
But
money.
you can promise some Americans will get those checks.
Oh yeah, sure. I can do that. I haven't made the commitment yet, but I may make the commitment.
So it's not.
Well, I just gave 1776, right?
Yeah.
To the military.
He's like, did you? So you promised to give that money away? And he's like, yeah, but I haven't committed to it.
Right, $1,776.
But you said all.
You know, it's
Americans
$1,775. They presented it to me because that's what we have in a budget that I created because I want to take care of our military. Nobody takes care of the military like I do.
Yeah.
So $1,775. And I said, wait a minute, if you had $1, it's $1,776. You know, that's quite a famous state.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
So anyway, wait, so I gave $1,776 to our military, and they are very thankful.
Let's get to the Fed.
And now I may be doing that with regard to the entire population.
Yeah, so that's just ridiculous. And this is another wild one. Obama was on this, I guess, Democratic Party operatives podcast. This guy like literally gets paid by the Democratic Party. I guess it was like $110,000 a year or something, but probably more than that because he runs the organization that pays people $110,000 a year to like regurgitate the Democratic talking points, basically. The mainstream centrist Democratic talking points. Not the leftist portion of the party, which is large in the base, but small in the actual Congress and Senate for sure. So yeah, let's see. Oh yeah, so Obama says that aliens are real, right? And this guy's just doesn't even follow up, apparently. Let's see.
Are aliens real?
They're real, but I haven't seen them, and they're not being kept in what is it?
Area 51.
Area 51. There's no underground facility unless there's this enormous conspiracy, and they hid it from the president of the United States.
What was the first question you wanted answered when
Yeah. So, like, there should be a follow-up question, bro. Like, how do you know that they're real? What is it a microorganism on another planet? What's the deal, you know? And yeah, come on now.
You became president.
Where are the aliens?
Where are the aliens?
Ridiculous. And then that what? They didn't tell you? They just left it as a joke? Yeah, so that was one of the ones I saw earlier that was like, it's kind of shocking that he would say that, but it's probably just clip farming. Um, this is the big story of the evening, though, that I had on the thumbnail. The Department of Justice sent over a letter to Congress outlining why it made redactions to the Epstein Files. The 6-page letter also includes a list of government officials and politically exposed persons in the files. So this is a bunch of random people that are in the files in different contexts, but it has completely irrelevant people. But let's see what the actual letters say, because I'm curious about their excuse for the redactions. The thing is, though, is that it's probably going to be a bunch of legalese that makes no sense. Let's see. Categorizes of records released in accordance with the requirements of the act as described. Say, yeah, I might have to go to a news story to make sense of it. Summary of redactions made and legal basis. Consistent with the act, the department, in conclusion with victim counsel and victims directly, engaged in an extensive process to identify and redact segregable portions of records that contain personally identifiable information of victim or victims' personal and medical files, similar to files the disclosure of which would constitute a clearly unwarranted invasion of personal privacy, depict or contain bad images as defined under 18 USC and prohibited under, would jeopardize an active federal investigation or ongoing prosecution, provided that such withholding is narrowly tailored and temporary, and depict or contain images of uh, physical abuse, injury, or person. Let's see. Gotta. All right. Let's check the next page. Although permitted by the Act, no materials were redacted or withheld on a basis that a record contained information specifically authorized under criteria established by an executive order to be kept secret in the interest of national defense or foreign policy are in fact properly classified pursuant to such executive order. No materials were redacted or withheld on that basis that a record contained information specifically authorized under criteria that established by an executive order to be kept secret. So I'm not trying to it totally does. And like, are they trying to use a national security defense here, or are they insisting that they haven't? The way it's worded there is a little bit weird. Like I was saying, I expected this. As described in detail, order submissions and prior EFTA letters, as permitted by the Act, undertook an extensive process to redact victims' names, blah, blah, blah. No, you didn't. Including extensive engagement with victims and their counsel. The engagement is ongoing and department remains steadfast. The victims have said they haven't even been like spoken to by them. As discussed above in the prior EFTA letters, the department redacted a limited amount of information covered by various privileges, including deliberate process privilege. See, this is the stuff that's doing a lot of work here, the privileges, because that's what she said. I think Pam Bondi on multiple occasions said privileged. Let's see, various privileges, including deliberate process privilege, work product privilege, and attorney-client privilege. Okay, so attorney-client privilege. Pam Bondi was the attorney for a lot of people in Palm Beach, right? And Todd Blanche is Donald Trump's personal attorney. I'm not sure if that either one of those things have anything to do with this, but I could see it being used as an excuse. Solid fight down. List of all government officials and politically exposed persons. Below is a list of all government officials and politically exposed persons named or referenced in the release material. The term politically exposed persons was not defined in the Act, but consistent with Section 3 of the Act, department reviewers were directed to notate all government officials and politically exposed persons named or referenced in any document, including videos, images reviewed during this process. So this means exactly, yeah, this means anybody that they had a conversation about, probably. It really, really, yeah. And then they also managed to find a loophole because of the fact that in the law they did not define what a politically exposed person is, which allowed them to take this extremely broad definition uh to include pretty much anybody. So here Alec Baldwin is on here in addition to Bono, John Bolton. Let's see. I mean, some of these people are definite Fidel Castro. Well, Fidel Castro was in a picture with them actually, and so was Mick Jagger. But let's see. Clinton, Chelsea, yeah, Noam Chomsky, yeah, Phil Donahue. I think like didn't he die a long time ago? Let's see. Trying to see other people I recognize. Cher, it's possible they know each other. Blinken, Anthony, Beyonce, possible. Julian Assange? I don't know about that. Maybe though. That would be weird. Robert De Niro, David Copperfield, we know of. Huh. Princess Diana? I don't know. I mean, I know he knows Andrew, but I feel like Diana was before he met Andrew, maybe. I don't know. Kurt Cobain's on here? What? No way. That's ridiculous. Is he? I don't see him. George Clooney, that's possible. Kurt Cobain is on here. Yeah, I do see him. Wow. That's that. I don't think that. I don't know about that. Dan Bongino is on here. Audrey Strauss, Ron DeSantis, Bill and Melinda Gates, Kamala Harris, Andreessen Horowitz. I mean, that's not a person. That is an investment firm of Mark Andreessen and someone Horowitz. Yeah, Jayapal Pramila. That's like they had to have just referenced in an email. I heard that even what's his name was on here. Thomas Massey, which you know, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time with like Elon Musk like leading the charge to get him uncovered, and then he's in them. I haven't seen Thomas Massey on here yet, though. Elizabeth II, I guess that's Queen Elizabeth. Pam Bondi. Oh, what happened with Massey's wife? I knew that. Yeah, I don't know what the deal with that is. Woody Allen, Dick Cheney, Patrick Byrne. Like a lot of these, like okay, Richard Branson. A lot of these are legit, I think. But there are a lot of ridiculous ones in here. Mike Huckabee. But there's more, right? Oh, there's another page. Okay. Now, okay, Hakeem Jeffries, Alex Jones. They put Alex Jones on here. Brett Ratner, Elvis Presley, Prince Philip, Kash Patel, Ron Paul. Janis Joplin, yeah, I think Larry Kudrow, Rosie O'Donnell. I mean, that's possible. Prince Harry. I don't know. I don't know about Prince Harry because there's so much rivalry between them, but maybe I'm just buying into royalist propaganda. Who knows? Um, Keir Starmer. I mean, these are literally like anybody that was talked about. Uh, John McCain, Ghislaine Maxwell, Monica Lewinsky, um, Howard Lutnick, Nancy Pelosi, Michelle Obama, Amy Schumer, Kevin Spacey. I mean, some of these like are definitely people who are complicit, but I definitely don't think all the people I've read are complicit. Ben Shapiro, George Soros, Elon Musk, Ivana Trump, Peter Thiel, Ron Wyden. Yeah, that's I'm seeing the chat. Paolo Zampoli has the misfortune of his name ending with a Z, I think, because he's right down here on the bottom of the list, and he's probably definitely implicated. Margaret Thatcher, I don't know about that one. That seems before his time, I thought. Unless I'm getting my timelines mixed up with the 80s, because the early 80s I don't remember that well. Let's see. Oh, Errol Musk for real. He was a creep. Oh, the whole Musk family was apparently, heavily involved with this guy. Maxwell, while other individuals are mentioned only in portions of documents, including press reporting, that on its face is unrelated to Epstein and Maxwell matters. Yeah, like they did that shit on purpose. But there have been, let's see, there have been some other. There's been reports from survivors that there are some names missing, that there are many names missing, actually. And there are some of them are just starting to post them. So far, some of the ones we have that have been confirmed or some are new actually. I think one or two in this is new, but a lot of them are kind of just another confirmation. Elon Musk, Prince Andrew, Bill Gates, Alan Dershowitz, Kimball Musk, May Musk, Errol Musk, Ghislaine Maxwell, Thomas Webb, Mary Webb, Leslie Wexner, Edward Bancroft Count Town III. I don't know who that is. Lauren Gabriel Ashton, Jules Mersick, Bianca Mersick, and Base Ne- Oh yeah, Lauren Gabriel Ashton. That's Base Nectar, who is a known pedo. Like there was a big controversy, and he hasn't really been able to tour for the past like 5 years. It all came out during the pandemic, like a lot of music. It was quite interesting. It even happened in my local scene as well. And what happened was why it happened with music during that time is because all the venues shut down, right? So all of these people that had power in the industry while the clubs were open, like the DJs and the club owners and all these people, um, they no longer had their power really. People no longer needed them for things. So, you know, things started to come out and a lot came out about Bass Nectar where he had like, you know, girls that weren't even old enough to he was having like relationships with girls that weren't even old enough to get into his shows. And he was like meeting them before his shows in like every city and stuff like that. It was a real crazy situation. And he's like trying to make a comeback, or he was until he started appearing in the Epstein Files. Because I'm pretty sure he was in the Epstein Files as well. Next time we do like a lookup session, I'll look up his name. Let's see. But yeah, that's definitely something that has been floating around for sure. For some reason my chat was delayed. I don't know why that happened. It's weird. Now I'm catching up. Yeah, that's definitely strange. And then there was another one I found, because even though that was kind of a misdirection, I feel, and a show of like, you know, the other thing is is they just showed all these names without showing where the names went. You know what I mean? Because like if they were like, you know, they basically said instead of unredacting the words, we're just going to tell you which words are unredacted and good luck finding out which ones go where is essentially what they've just done. So let's see what the other one I was going to look for. Missing names. Oh yeah, so I did see this though. This might be even more relevant. Unredacted Jeffrey Epstein 1997 Black Book circulates on Reddit. So this is only going to have half of the era of his contacts, but this is still quite significant. A Reddit user posted photographs of every single page from Jeffrey Epstein's unredacted 1997 Little Black Book, sparking widespread discussion. The book was previously released publicly by journalist Nick Bryant over a decade ago. Discussions highlighted entries for Donald Trump and various addresses. So we might have already seen this, but it was like saying it's resurfacing. So I guess it's going viral again. Pretty sure we've seen this. Wexner, Wesselman, Warner, Wexner, White House. Interesting. Yeah, so it looks like that's an old one that went viral again. A lot of that stuff's been happening, it seems. Another one I saw trending was France appoints team to review Epstein files for France nationals. The Paris prosecutor's office formed a special team of magistrates along with financial prosecutors and judicial police to sift through over 3 million pages of U.S. files in late January 2026. They aim to identify potential offenses by French nationals with a close look at the late modeling agency agent Jean-Luc Brunel and active probes into figures like diplomat Fabrice Aden. This renewed effort follows earlier closed investigations and ties into complaints against others, including model recruiter Danielle Syed and conductor Frederic Chaslin. I'm not familiar with them. Amid the file's broader international impact. So I think that this is this is significant because if other countries are starting to investigate this, like, seriously, like having actual investigations, then, you know, things are going to start to come out massively, I'd say. Let's see. And yeah, I found a lot of crazy stuff about Zorro Ranch too that I'll get to in a minute, and the current owners of Zorro Ranch, and them being like invested in biotech companies and all this kind of stuff. Also being in the Trump administration, perhaps. Got some stuff on Durst though. Some just ridiculous videos I saw recently. Let's take a look.
Of McCarthyism that has afflicted America since the 1950s. For you to look at this paper that has been reproduced and sent by the Justice Department, it's called Prominent Names. And it's a list of prominent people who have been accused. Every single name of every accuser has been blacked out. So, for example, let's turn to me. It says blank, 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 blacked out, stated she gave him a massage on Epstein's plane, parenthesis, not a minor. So let's understand that. This is an adult, a woman who was on Epstein's plane, she says. I was never on an Epstein plane with a young woman. Right. I never got on this. This is total defamation, a total lie, but I can't disprove it because they won't give me her name. That's McCarthyism. On the issue of his spying for the... Okay, well, let me continue.
Let's get
on
to
the
that.
issue of his for the Mossad, that...
I mean, McCarthyism is when people try to like root you out of your job and your standing in society because of what you believe in, because you believe in something different than the government. This is a little bit different than that. Exactly. He just wants to bully the victims, and that's all these people want to do, and that's why they released the names unredacted like they did.
Comes from what is called an undercover confidential source. I happen to know who the source is. The source is somebody who the FBI investigated, found to be totally incredible, lacked all credibility. This is the worst form of McCarthyism. Why are we tolerating this? Why are we allowing accusations without the names of the accusers?
It's so bizarre that the people who like would have been there, who he probably was a McCarthyist, and he's like talking about McCarthy.
For example, in my case, it's an adult woman. We don't know whether she's a victim. We don't know whether she's a perpetrator. We don't know whether she's a co-conspirator. Why do you hide her name and produce the name of the people who are accused? That's guilt by accusation. That's guilt by association. It's McCarthyism. It's wrong. It's unconstitutional. It has to stop. And the media is playing a role in this. Politicians are playing a role in this. Epstein will never be remembered for a second. He will be remembered for inciting McCarthyism that infects America now more than it ever has since the 1950s. It has to stop.
Yeah. I haven't watched this one yet, but I saw apparently he got shut down. Let's see, or at least that's what the caption said. And Meta usually does a pretty good job, so let's see what happens here.
Well, no, that's the strategy. No one forced Israel to go kill 100,000 people, just like, you know, the Vietnam, the US, we burned the village to save it. No one forced Israel to drop 2,000-pound bombs on crowded refugee places. No one forced Israel to bomb hospitals. No one forced Israel to sniper shoot children. No one forced Israel to kill women holding up white flags, as we saw on tape with our own lying eyes. No one forced Israel to do any of that, which is why Karim Khan, the chief prosecutor, which is why the ICC judges all said Netanyahu and Gallant need to face war crimes charges.
A corrupt prosecutor.
Theodore, hold on, just to be clear on this. I know this propaganda is coming from Theodore Myron, who is a former chair of the International Tribunal on Yugoslavia, a former Rwanda tribunal judge, former legal advisor to the Israeli Foreign Ministry, former Israeli ambassador. Theodore Myron, 94 years old, descendant of Holocaust survivors. He advised on that indictment and said, yes, Netanyahu should be indicted on the basis of all the evidence I've seen. He knows far more about war crimes than you do. And let me finish my other point. Piers, you keep saying, yes, he does, actually.
I know him.
Well, you haven't chaired an international... Alan, you have not chaired an international tribunal on war crimes in Yugoslavia. He did. So,
I've written books about it.
Great.
I've written a new
he
book
actually
about
prosecuted
it. I am
war
an
criminals,
expert on
and he's
these
not corrupt.
crimes.
He's a Holocaust
And-
survivor. He's a 94-year-old Israeli American Jew. Israeli
It
Canadian
doesn't
Jewish
mean he
man.
knows more
I
about
know
war
him.
crimes
I
than
know him.
Unredact.
Yes, he
I know
does
him, and
actually.
we
Somebody who's
disagree.
prosecuted war
We
crimes, Piers
disagree.
does. And let me finish my other point, because both of you always interrupt me. Piers, one point you've said earlier about Israeli civilians, members of the public. You said moderate Israelis. You said earlier, Smotrich, Ben-Gvir don't represent Israelis. I wish that were true. I wish it was, but the Israeli
Well, you're going to
society-
cite that poll with
I'm gonna-
80%, but
I'm going to
it's not
cite
like-
multiple polls,
well,
right?
that one is a bit of an outlier.
Well,
that
the
poll.
Penn State, there are multiple polls, Piers. I can cite you 3 or 4. My colleague Diana Budo has written about it for Zeteo. There is a Penn State poll that shows 82% of Israeli Jews say they support ethnic cleansing in Gaza. 47% of them said they support killing every man, woman, and child in every city that's taken back from Gaza, a la the Bible punishments of the Old Testament. So Israeli society is super pro the war,
I
super
don't
pro
believe
getting rid
that
of
for one
Palestinians from
second.
Israel. So unfortunately, we can't lay all this at Netanyahu's door and just say it's all the fault of Netanyahu. If we got rid of Netanyahu, things would be fine. Actually, the Israeli opposition is super genocidal. The Israeli parliament's trying to get rid of the only leading Palestinian member right now. The Israeli public is
And what
getting pulses.
percentage of Hamas are supported by the Palestinian people?
Quite a lot right now, because they
Elected
see them as resistant. I'm glad you read that. Hold on.
hang on.
Hold on.
So in other words, you see the same problem
Yes.
on the other side.
I do see some problem, but let me make this
Well,
point.
that's
hold
interesting.
on. No, it's not, because you never let me finish a sentence.
Well, hang
One
on, I'm
side
just
is the occupier.
responding to what you said.
One side is the occupier. The other side is occupied. One side is the people fighting for their freedom. One side is the people
They
denying
offered
them
to
the
end
freedom.
the occupation.
But let me finish a point. It's very interesting that you mentioned about, different attitudes. All I've heard on this show since it began today is poor Israelis, think about the Israelis. Alan has said multiple times now, if your people were killed and if your women were raped, then you would respond like this. Well, the Palestinians would say the same, because that's what's happened to them.
Yeah, Dershowitz is definitely losing on that one for sure. And now he's trying to act like he's against it, like he's against the war, when he's been defending it for the past 3 years. Even longer, actually. So what's up with this? Oh yeah, Jubilee is so bad. It's so bad. It's like intentionally just, but yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like they took a photo from a really long time ago. You know what I mean? Like they should have taken one from like right before her arrest, probably. But even those ones, she doesn't look much like it, because her mugshot. And like I know that like it is weird. Like why would they? Let's see. Oh yeah, mugshot. That's what I'll search. See, look. Maybe it's the same person. Is possible. I mean, it is. I mean, this case has me thinking anything's possible. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just gonna be like switch back forth real quick. Anybody any thoughts in the chat? Do we have a body double here? I know it's weird when it gets into body double territory. But you never know. Especially considering that there is a, like a 50-50 chance that Epstein is alive. So, here's another weird one. There's a lot of weird ones tonight. It's good for Saturday night, So look at this. Is that Howard Lutnick on the dentist wall? I think that's 100% Howard Lutnick. I know there's like a variety of different theories for what those faces represent, but let's see. Jeffrey Epstein dentist room. Let's look up like the whole picture and see if we can like zoom in on it. Maybe not. Let's see. I'm trying to look for a picture. But yeah, that one's definitely been going around today. I can definitely see the resemblance there. That is very much the same dude for sure. Let's see what the no other theories put forward there. It definitely looks like him for sure. So there's been another arrest related to this. This time in Norway. It's the first country to arrest somebody. So I guess the other people I was thinking of just lost their jobs or whatever. Norway just put the West to shame. Well, Norway is technically the West, I guess. Former PM Jaglin was taken into custody today on charges of gross corruption. Your turn, America. Let's say.
Et où sa famille avait...
It's
Les
French
nouvelles révélations dans l'affaire Epstein continuent d'avoir des répercussions en Europe.
Right?
Ce jeudi, la police norvégienne a perquisitionné les propriétés de l'ancien Premier ministre Thorbjørn Jagland, formellement soupçonné de corruption aggravée dans le cadre de ses contacts passés avec le criminel sexuel. Une enquête a été ouverte après la publication de nouveaux documents en janvier, suggérant que le diplomate norvégien et ou sa famille...
Let's see what the... Let me look up, see if I can find a story about that. Okay, here. Is he arrested? I think it is. Yep. Let's take a look. It says Norway's former prime minister has been charged with aggravated corruption after police probe into his alleged ties with Jeffrey Epstein. He is charged with aggravated corruption, adding that he denies all charges. Wild. So that's at least something. And this was interesting to see because this is, of course, one of Donald Trump's fiercest soldiers for the longest time, Marjorie Taylor Greene. And she is now actually finally saying the thing that it's actually the orders are coming from Trump, because everybody is blaming Pam Bondi or Todd Blanche and Kash Patel. And yeah, these are all terrible people. But at the same time, you know, they're just following orders.
Pam Bondi, she serves at the
not that that's an excuse, as we know from the Nuremberg trials, but you can't take the blame off Trump just by, throwing all of it on the underlings, which is what the MAGA people have done for, 10 years now.
Pleasure of the president and his administration, and those there are telling her, here's who you can prosecute. No, don't do this. I mean, they told her that the Epstein files, that fight to release the Epstein files came directly from President Trump. And I know a lot of people have a hard time with that, but that is the truth. He fought the hardest to stop these files from being released. And the only reason that he signed our bill that we passed in the House was because he had to. It became a massive political...
Yeah, this was one of Alex Jones's guys, wasn't it? I think.
Problem. Biggest political miscalculation in Donald Trump's career was calling this a hoax, fighting the release of it, and having Mike Johnson, the speaker, refuse to bring the bill to the floor, to the point where Thomas Massie, myself, Nancy Mason, Lauren Boebert actually had to vote with all of the Democrats to get it released, to get it.
Another thing I saw earlier was it looks like they might people might be linking Jess Staley to the Snow White thing. Jess Staley, former CEO of Barclays and former CEO of JP Morgan Asset Management, was a longtime friend of Jeffrey Epstein and has been caught chatting with Epstein about Snow White. So I guess this was a redacted name that probably these Congress people have put out. And then there's this. I'm guessing this is one of Marie Farmer's artworks. And you can see here it has like the cards that say JP Morgan Chase, money to sell victims of Epstein, and I don't know what that last word is there. But that's pretty crazy. Let's look up the actual news story about this. Jess Staley, Snow White. Let's see what kind of details are here. Wow, this came out a couple days ago. I hadn't heard this yet. I heard his oh, really? Staley is in there? Hold up. This is him? Or maybe the redaction? Interesting. Oops, I lost the going back because let's see. I want to see what the details are here, though, how this came out, because they were initially redacted. Multiple documents in the files cite serious allegations of misconduct against Staley, including that he forced yeah, that's left bloody marks on the arms of a woman he called Tinkerbell. Oh my God. The bulk of the allegations are revealed in what appears to be a confidential 86-page internal memo produced by prosecutors and addressed to Jeffrey Berman, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York. The memo titled Investigation into Potential Co-Conspirators. Yeah, I think that guy's definitely going down for sure. Let's see. I haven't listened to this one yet, but this is apparently some of the cope that they're doing. This guy apparently thinks that Trump is purposely attacking the Epstein files so Americans will get riled up and want them even more. Then Trump will arrest everyone and be a hero. And he's pissed because other people are stealing his grand assessment. Hold on.
I see it differently than most everybody. Dude.
Yeah.
I see the public being intentionally enraged in order to put pressure so that the people can be held accountable. That's what the fuck I see.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I could be wrong. Okay. And that's why I say, hey, you can't count on that.
Yeah.
You have to like do your part to organize and get involved in all these things that we talk about.
In the event that fails.
Correct. The problem is I can't think of another way to do it.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I can't think of another way to arrest heads of government or
without just saying fuck everybody, fuck the optics, don't give a shit. Like
no, because dude, if you don't have the public approval for that, you're the one that ends up getting held accountable. You don't think that Trump knows that? This isn't like
yeah, like this is so ridiculous, the mental gymnastics that these people
like because
do.
dude, like if we find out Trump's involved in this,
okay, cool.
wood
Easy.
chipper.
Done.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah. Like this is not loyalty to anybody. This is me evaluating.
You know, if you're this delusional still at this point, then it's definitely a loyalty thing. All right, thanks, man.
Strategically, how you would actually do it in real life. I mean, we all like to say, fucking do it. But if he had come in on the first day and arrested all these people, 90% of the people thought all this shit was fake.
Right.
Okay. And most people have no idea how deep the fraud has been.
Yeah, that's just the iceberg.
Right.
And
so
the whole rest of it's underneath.
Right. You have all these things coming to light at once. And then you look back at like how he handled Venezuela and Greenland and strategically pretty much guaranteed like that no country can like be in control of what happens after that, something like to me, dude, you don't think that Trump knows that like if he fucking did this, that he would go down in history as the greatest president of all time? You don't think he fucking knows that?
Yeah,
and by the way,
so.
I've seen other people saying this shit now.
Yeah,
okay. Saying what I'm saying right now, that this is a strategic play. But let's just remember who said it first when nobody was fucking saying shit.
Yeah.
Whenever, because now we're starting to see other people with podcasts
I get it
who are
now.
very popular saying what I'm saying. And I would just like to remind everybody that
this was my dumb idea. So this headline got me excited until I saw it was a little bit oh, I didn't realize he was actually at the autopsy. This actually might be exciting then. Pathologist at Jeffrey Epstein's autopsy demands new investigation into possible murder. So actually, so the one thing to take note of, it isn't the pathologist that conducted the autopsy. It's the pathologist that was at the autopsy, apparently. So he was there and observed it or something, but he wasn't the one who conducted it. And that's important because of the fact that the one who signed off on it would be the person who had the authority to actually probably get a new investigation started. So this is significant because this is an expert who has knowledge on the case and knowledge in that space. But at the same time, there's not much that he can really do about it. So let's see what it says. A renowned pathologist who was at Jeffrey Epstein's autopsy is demanding a fresh investigation, insisting newly released info only confirms. Sorry about that. Jeez, man. Insisting newly released info only confirms his belief that notorious Jeffrey Epstein was murdered. Michael Baden, who was New York City's chief medical examiner in the 1970s, was also alarmed by what he saw in the August 2019 exam that he publicly declared the evidence points towards homicide rather than suicide. That was my opinion at the time, and I still stand by it. The autopsy findings are much more consistent with a crushing injury caused by homicidal strangulation than caused by what they claim it was. In fact, Baden insisted documents released in the Epstein Files reinforce his belief that the medical examiner rushed to call the death what it was. Or what it probably wasn't, actually. I was just trying to not say the S word, you know. It also showed that there was reason to believe that suspicious behavior in the Metropolitan Correction Center at the time, including a flash of orange on videos that looked like possible inmate. Yeah, we went through this on the stream that I have called Is Jeffrey Epstein Alive? Given all the information now available, further investigation into the cause and manner of death is warranted. Yeah, I'd say. Baden had been a witness at the autopsy at the request of Epstein's brother, Mark Epstein. Okay, I remember this. Oh, okay, he's very famous. He did the OJ case and as an expert on Casey Anthony. Interesting. So yeah, that's kind of wild that this guy's saying this, but I mean, he has been in Mark Epstein's corner as well. So, but he has said that he has never seen a bone break like this in this area. Even one fracture, we have to investigate the possibility of a homicide. 2 definitely warrant a full investigation, he told the paper. The autopsy findings are much more consistent with a crushing injury caused by homicidal strangulation than caused by that other thing. Findings in textbooks never see those fractures. Neither have I. I've heard him say similar things before, but basically now he's calling for a new investigation. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, I definitely gotta. I'll try Brave next time. I had too many videos tonight. If it messed up the videos, it would have been not great. Was he? I don't know if he would. The guy that stood in on the autopsy for. It might have been the doctor that did the autopsy that signed off on it. Might be not around anymore. That's possible, which might actually make it easier to get get another investigation. Hopefully. Let's see the other one I was Yeah, so I saw this in the files, in the video files, but I didn't have any context for it, so I didn't know what it was. And the video was like an hour long of this undercover investigation with one of Epstein's butlers, where he tried to give details of the whole operation and the victim and client list to the FBI, and they did nothing. This was in 2009.
The teenagers, they have braces, most of them.
Nah, didn't hear about the fire yet. I heard about the fire that woman set at the warehouse that the woman set on fire, but I didn't see about the one that randomly caught fire, unless that's the one that you're talking about. I don't know if they caught her yet, but she wasn't wearing a mask, which was a bad move, I think. The from what I'm seeing is the tattoo on Jeff's arm and some of those photos people were saying was a temporary tattoo.
Come on in. How are you doing? Good, good, good. You have the documents? Who created this book?
Actually, so I have it there, and also my computer, but just in case power failure. He was very organized. So I was supposed to have made this with every plane and everything. Just there's the computer was the radiator with water. First time in my life I saw that to keep it cool because they used to download pictures like this, just like that.
What kind of pictures?
Naked girls from Sweden, from Romania, from Czechoslovakia, from Brazil, from Colombia.
All minors? All young girls?
Very young, very young.
Like when you say very young, how young?
16, 17. The teenagers, they have braces, most of them.
Younger than that though?
Yeah, yeah. And they used to go up to comedy shops or ice cream parlors or movies, a lot of movies. Because it was,
right,
you know, babies, ice cream and comedy and movies. Remember that they would stay even if you erase them. I know.
Wow.
The rest will say there's his name Maxwell was his former companion, very powerful lady from England. She would go to the former Eastern countries in Europe and find girls' wives. And I knew that because I went with my wife. They used to have a computer so powerful. They used to have a water radiator to cool the computer because they used to download pictures like that so fast. Girls, she has nice breasts, she has this and that.
You saw that stuff?
Yeah.
On the computer?
Yeah.
Pictures of the girls? Were they naked and stuff like that?
Yeah, I testify that.
Wow. In 2007, not even 2009. The video was taken in 2009, but apparently they first interviewed him in 2007. Rodriguez persisted that he would only turn over the information in his possession in exchange for $50,000. They have since removed the video from their website. Yo, so they outed the undercover agent probably intentionally. That's crazy. And they just did nothing when this guy told them everything many years before. Or I guess this was after the initial sweetheart deal got shut down. This was probably like immediately after it. That's crazy. It's always possible to make the feds look worse. Somehow they always manage to do it.
When we last talked, this is 8 months ago when we did the interview at the FBI in Quantico, that you were convinced that Epstein killed himself in jail. Today, 8 months after that, are you still convinced?
Yes.
100%.
Yes, sir.
You told me when we last talked.
So Cash Patel's saying, yep, 100%. So let's take a look at this situation. The Zorro Ranch situation. New Mexico Epstein Ranch now owned by Texas comptroller. Jeffrey Epstein's Zorro Ranch in New Mexico is now at the center of a state comptroller race in Texas. Former Republican state representative, business owner, and gubernatorial candidate Don Humphreys is running for comptroller to manage the state's finances. The 8,000-acre property in Stanley, New Mexico, was sold in 2023 to San Rafael Ranch, LLC, for an undisclosed amount, with the owner's names kept confidential. It wasn't until a street name change and property taxes were contested that public records revealed the owner of San Rafael Ranch was Humphreys. His wife, Mary Catherine, is listed as a trustee. His son, Colin, is listed as an LLC manager. A records request made public by Santa Fe, New Mexico, shows that the estate was valued at $21.1 million in 2023, but after Humphreys' protest, the county tax assessor dropped the value to $13.4 million. He's probably like, you got to give me the Epstein rebate. Epstein was reported dead in August 2019. Yeah, we know that. So this is just more details on that situation. The property is connected to a murder for hire scheme and other crimes committed by what? Hold on. More than 4,000 records have been released by the Department of Justice about the Zorro Ranch. One details a Native American woman who was interviewed by the FBI and claimed her mother trafficked her and other children to the ranch, where Epstein held them in property bedrooms and forced them to do terrible things. Multiple documents describe gruesome things at the mansion that the Humphreys purchased, referred to by victims as the house on the hill. The property is also connected to a murder for hire scheme and other crimes committed by a Florida nonprofit leader sentenced to more than 34 years in prison. He was convicted of $2.7 million check. Kidding? Never heard of that. And money laundering scheme, paycheck protection fraud, and filing $300 million worth of fraudulent warranty deeds for properties nationwide, including Zorro Ranch. What's that person's name? It doesn't say the person's name. Wait, there's another story link to it. Let's see. Pinellas County man indicted for hiring a hitman to kill a witness. So this is a story around Zorro Ranch. I never even heard of this one. U.S. Attorney Roger Handberg announced the return of an indictment charging Alexander Lezinski with 1 count of murder for hire and 1 count of obstruction of justice. If convicted, he faces maximum penalty of 10 years in federal prison on each count. That's it. The indictment also notifies Lezinski that the United States intends to forfeit any facilitating property or assets that are alleged to be traceable to proceeds of the offense. According to the indictment, in approximately August or September of 2022, Lazinski, while using a facility to interstate or foreign commerce, promised to pay an individual to kill 2 people, identified as victim 1 and victim 2. The indictment also alleges that during the same time period, Lazinski corruptly endeavored to influence, obstruct, and impede the due administration of justice in a judicial proceeding pending before the United States court. So that means they were trying to meddle in their own case, which makes me assume that they would have people on the inside, whoever this person that's taking these hits out, that lived in Zorro Ranch, unless I'm reading too much into things or reading into things incorrectly, but that is my read on it. An indictment is merely a formal charge. That's crazy. This was 2022. What? This was after the purchase? Let's go back to this story. It's also connected to that is wild. Prior to, so this changed hands a couple times, I guess. And it was sold through multiple owners, and one of the owners was involved with this property, was the murder for hire thing. And then the next one is this Humphreys guy who is involved with the government and running for land commission and was a prior politician in the region. After the files were released, she's again calling for state and federal investigations, wanting to use radar and dogs to search remains. So this is the current land commissioner. So what's he running for? Comptroller? Yeah, comptroller. And so, okay, I thought he was like running for the position that would be in control of his own investigation, which would be crazy. She also called for a state investigation into state land being used for criminal acts. Governor Greg Abbott's campaign, political consultant Dave Carney criticized what he called the sleazeball secret land deal, noting that New Mexico officials wanted to search for bodies. What kind of person thinks that's a good and decent investment? He also asked who would give Jeffrey Epstein estate millions of dollars. No wonder it's done in secret. Yeah, it's true. I mean, let's see. Humphreys has characterized the comptroller campaign as bringing accountability to manage state resources and championing conservative Christian values. When asked how purchasing property used by convicted traffickers reflected these values, his attorney, Alan Blakemore, said in a statement, 4 years after Epstein's death, Mr. Humphreys' family purchased property in New Mexico listed at a public auction whose proceeds benefited the victims. Prior to the auction listing, they had never visited the property. Yeah, it just seems like this property's been protected because it has been through many powerful hands and stuff. And of course, high value properties, you know, it's a limited market. So it's going to be mostly rich and powerful people. But still, it seems like it's a very, very specific group of them, which is definitely kind of weird. But the weirder thing, there's a couple weird things about this actually that I saw. The first one is here. And this is Zorro Ranch owner family works in Trump administration. After it was revealed that Humphrey family bought Zorro Ranch, it was discovered that family's son, Russell, is currently works as about appointee in the Trump administration. Is that a thing, about appointee? Or is that a typo? Was there a quid pro quo to cover up the ranch? Let's take a look at this. Mary, okay, so this is... Who's the other person? Russell Humphreys. Let's look him up. Russell Humphreys, White House. Yup. That's interesting. So family of the son of the person who bought Zorro Ranch is in the Trump administration currently. That's interesting for sure. Even more so is that this guy, Don Humphreys, led a $1.8 million in Secretome Therapeutics. This is a biotech company. Let's look it up. Dallas-based Hest Investment leads $1.8 million investment in Secretome Therapeutics. Baltimore-based Secretome has a presence at Biolabs at Pegasus Park in Dallas. The biotech company is at the forefront of developing revolutionary solutions aimed at harnessing the power of secretomes, naturally occurring molecules that promote healing and regeneration. Dallas-based venture capital firm. Let's see where dude's name is. Heffanys, right? Yeah, I definitely. This is a good one to do a video on. What's the guy's name again? Let's see. I think that's the dude, right? Let's see real quick. Don Humphreys. Yeah, that's it. Don Humphreys, CEO at Hest Investments, said in a statement, "We're thrilled to support Secretome Therapeutics and its mission to revolutionize regenerative medicine. At Hest, our philosophy is to see beyond the obvious and invest in ventures that have potential to make a transformative impact for humanity." Wow, that's pretty wild. So then there's that, and I'm not sure if this is connected to that at all or not, but this is a weird email here from the heir to the Norwegian monarchy. So this must be the Norwegian princess that got in trouble with stuff. Says, soon poor people won't be able to have children anymore, but I guess that would be fantastic. We could design new humans in a lab. She said Mette Marit appears in the Epstein Files, rejoicing in the future that the poor will no longer be able to have children and that humans can be created in laboratories in the same superior race style that Hitler used to talk about. These files have... So let's see. She does say that. I'll look up the actual files too. Jmail, I hope you are smiling. I know you prefer to live in the land of make-believe. Me too. Let's see. The most diseases are a result of other species winning out. The idea of living in sync with nature is not from 1988, but from 1998 BC. A concept champion for humors, earth, water, fire, things that kill natural organisms. I hope you are smiling. This article, it's like I guess an intellectual conversation that they're having, so to speak. It is the cocktail of all the unnaturals that have a profound effect on the early stages of development in humans. Or the bill, let's say. You always make me smile because you tickle my brain, but I want the data from now, or the bill is mine. Yeah, that's just a weird one, you know? Maybe, let's see. I'll save that name for when I look through the files extensively. Wow, let's see. All right. There's that one. What else did I have here? Okay, yeah. All right. So that brings me to Wikipedia, which is the new edition in Jmail, apparently. Let's see. See if we could access it yet. Yeah, royalty is definitely should be something of the past. I can't believe we still have royalty. It's completely insane. Wikipedia. Here we go. Today's featured article is from Leslie Groff, one of the most frequently appearing individuals. Top articles by email volume. Rich Khan. And you could go to his thing. Oh, this is awesome. And then it tells you all about them. Richard Kahn was Epstein's accountant. That's why he has so many mentions. And then you go through, okay, I wonder if they have top articles. Do they have like criminal statutes, victim and recruitment patterns, Epstein's co-conspirators? Other likely co-conspirators. Pilots, victim recruiters, evidence of coordination and obstruction. This is crazy resource. Why weren't others prosecuted? Death and cooperation. Current status of co-conspirators. So Jean-Luc Brunel, deceased. No charges filed. Cooperated with investigation. Living under married name. No charges filed. Attorney stated she was told not being prosecuted. Living privately. Yeah, Nadia Marcinkova. That means she hasn't been heard from or seen in years. No criminal charges. Settled civil lawsuit. Testifying before Congress. I wonder, like, if there's a clickable thing of all the people in the emails here. No, that's not what I want. Browse by. Oh, wow, look at this. There's all these names here. I guess not too many. They got a couple, though. Let's see which ones I do or don't know. Anne Rodriguez, don't know that. Irene de Rothschild. I know about her, but let's see. Correspondence with Epstein. The archive documents an exceptionally voluminous correspondence, with Rothschild appearing as sender in 2,500 emails, as a recipient in over 4,000. Business advisory role. Epstein functioned as a strategic advisor on the bank's most sensitive matters. In July 2015, Epstein advised on preparations for a DOJ meeting scheduled for August 27th with Rothschild's assistant, Cynthia Tabiano, coordinating with Epstein and noting that Ariane suggested it would be you and Emmanuel to go to Luxembourg for a review, and that Kathy is going to Africa, sat and can bring documents. Referencing attorney Kathy Rumler. So she was involved in the Epstein-Rothschild relationship. Ah, yeah, she could be in witness protection. Let's see. When Swiss federal police raided Rothschild Bank in connection with the 1MDB scandal, Rumler immediately forwarded Epstein a news article about the raid. Epstein told Rothschild in June 2015 that there is no decision you can make that will affect so much of a dollar difference than the DOJ matter. It makes all the other issues, i.e. bonuses, wine, hotel, pale in comparison. In March 2014, Rothschild discussed with Epstein strategies for removing family member David from her bank's shareholding structure, writing that getting him out of my bank as it will allow me to unlist the bank. Epstein proposed having a third party buy David's stock in your bank. Thought that they're around 25 times your size, analyzing a merger, intra-family mediation. So Epstein served as a mediator in disputes between Rothschild and other family members. So what this does is this compiles all of the all the stuff from the emails and the photos and the the emails and the files, sorry, into a Wikipedia. Let's see. Personal advisory relationship, meeting coordination, business introductions and investors, final communication. Last document email from Epstein to Rothschild was April 4th, 2019. Today, feeling better. And then he was arrested like 2 months later. The Rothschild's co-conspirators in the archive reveal the business's infrastructure supporting her relationship with Epstein. Oliver Cullum appears in 100 shared emails and frequently participated in meeting arrangements. Cynthia Tabiano, I have trouble with some of these names, who appears in 80 shared emails, served as her executive assistant and coordinated with Epstein on sensitive banking matters. Tom Pritzker and Eva Dubin also appeared in correspondence, suggesting de Rothschild's integration into Epstein's broader network of high net worth individuals and business figures. Manhattan townhouse. The archive documents at least 2 planned or completed visits to Epstein's New York townhouse, Paris apartment. So this says all the places visited, the interactions that they had, and their importance to each other. Let's see. Boris Nikolic. This guy, I know y'all have been telling me about him. Daniel, right? I think you sent me a bunch of stuff on him. Served as Bill Gates's chief science and technology advisor, co-founding Biomatics Capital Partners, a venture capital firm focused on biotech investments. This is another biotech guy. Nico publicly stated that he was shocked by the designation and declined to serve. What? Oh, the backup executor of his will. However, the email archives reveals 21,000 correspondence spanning through 2009 to 2019, documenting a close and personal relationship. Included meeting at Epstein's properties, social gatherings, real estate dealings, and coordination around Bill Gates' schedule. Let's see. I think we have a theory on the Mormon blood thing that was code for somebody who didn't have drugs in their system. It could be something more, something darker though, but that is one of the theories that we've kicked around in chat here that I think is a pretty good one. The correspondence shows Nicholas functioned as an intermediary between Epstein and elite scientific and philanthropic circles. Most troubling, a February 2012 email thread shows Nicholas writing to Epstein and Sam Gerardoux about beautiful, young, and gorgeous women. Next time you see those beautiful, young, and gorgeous, just jump on them and deliver them straight to 71st, a reference to Epstein's Manhattan townhouse on 71st Street. So they were connected through Warren Buffett, through JP Morgan, through the MIT labs. They had meetings multiple times throughout the years, many different properties. Paris and international travel, Bill Gates connection, served as a conduit between Epstein and Gates. There are a lot of things impossible, including the dinner Jeffrey you proposed. Please do not forward message below. The June 2013 crisis, power of attorney. The most significant revelation about the Nikolic Epstein relationship emerged from emails in June 2013 when Nikolic was being forced out of his position by Melinda Gates. Epstein drafted a letter from Nikolic to Bill Gates that read, "Bill, I am in tears as I write this and barely have slept for 3 days. I am devastated beyond words. I find myself losing my best friends and my career all in one day, and by no fault of my own. I have asked Jeffrey to oversee and negotiate for me, and have given power of attorney to act on my behalf. I have informed him of all details surrounding our dilemma. I trust him 100%. He has agreed to act as my financial and legal representative." Nicola confirmed to Epstein he is trying to make it work with Melinda. He is having a next round of negotiations with her next weekend. So how many people did he try to get to sign over his power of attorney? He is still trying to, Nicola confirmed with Epstein, he is still trying to make it work with Melinda. He is having the next round of a negotiation with her next weekend. Yes, but I don't think you understand how weak he really is. And for the moment, you represent pain. He will try to figure out how to avoid the pain because he can't avoid Melinda. This is Epstein's advice to Nicola. The exchange reveals that Epstein was privy to the most intimate details of Gates' marriage crisis before the 2021 divorce. Nicola gave Epstein legal power of attorney to negotiate on his behalf. Epstein positioned himself as Nicolas' representative in negotiations against Bill Gates. The level of trust and financial entanglement may explain why both the Grat tax advice and eventually Nicolas' naming as executor of Epstein's will. The June 2013 crisis provides crucial context of understanding the depth of their relationship. It was not only social and professional networking, but involved the most sensitive personal and financial matters. Melanie Walker, connection, Sam Jarediah and the apartment. So this is like they're talking about creepy stuff about young girls, I guess, in these emails. The deliver them to 71st email, real estate transactions they've had. This is connections that they all have together, and this is some of the same circle that we're seeing, the Pritzker, the Jaraday, Larry Cohen, Gates' financial advisor. This is the people that were involved with Gates, essentially. Document references, criminal exposure assessment. Yeah, this is quite detailed. This is pretty crazy. Let's see what else we got. Anything interesting in here? Paul Morris, Peter Mandelson, Petty Seagal. We've seen them. I wonder if they're going to add more to this. What else they got on here? Still this, yeah. Nicole Junkerman, Noam Chomsky, Peter Thiel, Prince Andrew, Duke of York. Yeah, this is pretty wild. I like this. We're gonna have to like look more through this in the future. Yeah, so it's basically an encyclopedia of everything in Jmail. So maybe not the maybe the documents as well. AI generated from government released emails and documents, a supplement to Wikipedia. Larry Cohen with Boris. What do you mean like with Boris? Like Larry Cohen and Boris, like both of those words? Or oh, Larry Cohen in the Boris thing. I got you. That makes sense. Boris. Financial planning suggestion with Larry Cohen. Now I can operate on your side of the table as opposed to Christine's. You could consider a zeroed out grantor retained annuity trust. It would give Boris the same result with no tax. Larry Cohen, Gates' financial advisor, replied, "Thank you. Looking into this as well." Yeah, I mean, yeah. Gates financial advisor involved in three-way discussions. He has 313 emails, but like there's a bunch of Larry Cohen stuff in here. Do you know which one is good? Because Boris, because like I'm not sure how to search in the like I know how to search one or the other, but not both of them. You know what I mean? Unless it's just both of them. Unless I could just say Larry Cohen Boris. Let's say. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of back and forth. Yeah, that's an interesting one. A lot of biotech people. And yeah, it looks like a lot of correspondence. I could dig deeper into this one another time. Yeah, I'll dig into this one deeper time. Maybe we could do something with that that program on stream tomorrow or something. Maybe we'll see. It's possible. See what else I got. What's this? Nah. I think I had one or two other things to look at. Gotta find them though. Yeah, like a lot of stuff has happened over the weekend. It's pretty crazy. And, you know, they keep on slow dripping out this information because they're obviously hiding something. And I've seen quite a few weird things. That yeah, the Zorro Ranch stuff, that is trippy as hell. The fact that just people in the Trump administration, there's a murder involved, there's all this crazy stuff. The biotech company. For some reason, I can't get back onto the website I was trying to. Yeah, maybe I can. But yeah, now the excuse that they're running on is that, you know, this is all overblown and it wasn't actually a big deal. And it, you know, most of them were of age and all of these excuses is pretty crazy. Well, yeah, I think that is actually all I got. Thanks for dropping in for this tonight, and I'll definitely be back tomorrow with a lot more. I got a ton of ICE stories, and also I'm sure a bunch of Epstein stuff will pop up as well. But yeah, thanks for joining, and yeah, you could join the Discord. For right now, it is totally free. Eventually, as the channel grows, I'll probably lock it behind a Patreon to keep the trolls out and stuff. But everybody who's already in there will just, you know, you won't have to pay. So if you want to get in there, best time is soon. And also definitely check out the video I just put out. Is the CIA a drug cartel? That one is a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to make because I was able to teach myself a lot of new stuff. I also got my most recent book, Paper Squares and Purple Stars, My Life as a Rave Outlaw. I wrote that a few years ago. Just all my craziest times from when I was throwing raves back in the day. And I think I'm going to go through that. Oh, yeah, happy Valentine's Day to you all as well. I think I'm going to go through that like chapter by chapter. You can read the chapters for free on hive.blog/@JohnVibes. Yeah, hive.blog/ at John Vibes, and pretty much every chapter with pictures and stuff from the events that happened. It's basically a memoir about the 2008 to 2012 era of my company, Good Vibes Promotions, was throwing parties. That's kind of how I got my name. People like started calling me Vibes, John Vibes. I didn't actually give that to myself. But yeah, so then there's that. And yeah, I think that's it. Just subscribe if you haven't, because that's definitely very helpful. And I will catch you next time. Peace, everybody.